नमस्कार, आप सभी का बहुत बहुत स्वागत एवं हार्दिक अभिनंदन। शिक्षा भारत का राष्ट्रीय लक्ष्य है। बदलते वैश्विक परिदृश्य के साथ ये अत्यंत आवश्यक था कि एक ऐसी शिक्षा नीति का निर्माण किया जा सके जो देश का भविष्य यानी कि देश के बच्चों और युवाओं को वर्तमान और भावी चुनौतियों का सामना करने के लिए तैयार कर सके। एक ऐसी शिक्षा नीति निर्मित की जाए जो सभी तक पहुंच, समता, गुणवत्ता, वहनीयता और जवाबदेही जैसे मार्गदर्शी उद्देश्यों पर आधारित हो। एक ऐसी शिक्षा नीति जो प्रत्येक नागरिक के जीवन को स्पर्श कर सके, देश के बढ़ते विकासात्मक जरूरतों में योगदान देने की क्षमता रखे, एक न्याय संगत और निष्पक्ष समाज को बनाने की दिशा में आगे बढ़े। एक ऐसी शिक्षा नीति जो भारत की परंपराओं और मूल्यों के अनुरूप रहते हुए शिक्षा के महत्वाकांक्षी लक्ष्यों को पा सके। इसी लक्ष्य के साथ डॉक्टर के कस्तूरीरंगन की अध्यक्षता में प्राथमिक शिक्षा से उच्च शिक्षा तक बदलाव लाने के लिए एक नई शिक्षा नीति का प्रारूप तैयार करने के लिए समिति का गठन किया गया, जिसने अपनी रिपोर्ट मानव संसाधन विकास मंत्रालय को 31 मई 2019 को सौंप दी। तो क्या है राष्ट्रीय शिक्षा नीति 2019 का प्रारूप? वो कौन से बदलाव हैं जो मौजूदा शिक्षा नीति में लाने का प्रस्ताव है और कैसे ये बदलाव हमें, आपको प्रभावित करेंगे? इन्हीं विषयों पर आज हम बात करेंगे और मैं स्टूडियो में स्वागत करना चाहूंगी हमारे विशेष मेहमानों का। मैं सबसे पहले स्वागत करना चाहूंगी प्रोफेसर के रामचंद्रन जी का। आप मेंबर हैं ड्राफ्टिंग कमेटी, ड्राफ्ट नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी 2019। आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है। साथ ही मैं स्वागत करना चाहूंगी प्रोफेसर अनिल सहस्त्रबुद्धे जी का। आप चेयरमैन हैं ऑल इंडिया काउंसिल फॉर टेक्निकल एजुकेशन। और मैं स्वागत करना चाहूंगी डॉक्टर शैलेंद्र कुमार जी का। आप एसोसिएट प्रोफेसर हैं दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी में। सबसे पहला सवाल तो ये होगा कि when we talk about the draft national education policy and the national education policy that it envisions, is it something which is center-centric or do the states have a say on it?
India is a country with tremendous socio-economic, cultural, geographic variations. Therefore, meeting the needs of these diversity is very important. Education currently is what we call in the concurrent list. That makes it possible for both states and center to legislate on educational matters. As indicated in the 1986 policy, revised in 1992, education will continue to be a process that is developed through partnership of states and center. In other words, education development is a partnership between the state and the center. In the preamble to the draft national education policy, there is a paragraph which clearly indicates that within the broad policy parameters, states and union territories will be encouraged to devise their own programs, programmatic interventions. They can set their own targets. They can have their own medium target, say 2025, 2030, 2035, 2040, and so on. So there is tremendous flexibility envisaged in terms of targets, programs, and the other aspects of the policy in implementation based on the current status, achievements, and the institutional capacity for each state.
Right.
For instance, the policy envisages 15 years of education, say by 2030. That doesn't mean the entire country would reach. Some states might say we can do it by 2028, 2030. Somebody might say 2035, 2040. This freedom is envisaged in the draft national education policy, and therefore it is not centrally set agenda for the country as a whole.
Right.
Tremendous flexibility is provided to the states. They will make decisions about the interventions they should do, the targets they should set, and move towards the policy directive.
Right. So when we talk about education, the foundation is laid in the primary years. And here the education policy not only focuses about strengthening the primary education, but it also talks about ECCE, which is the early childhood care and education, which includes not only education but also health and overall development of a child. So what was the idea behind inclusion of ECCE?
Research throughout the world indicate that by the time a child reaches age 6, 85% of brain is developed. So if you start stimulation only by the age of 6, it is too late. The stimulation should start, to be exact, from birth onwards.
Right.
0 onwards. Now 0 to 3 therefore should be handled by parents at home with support in terms of educational caregivers, parents and so on. 3 to 6 years currently is taken care of by several alternative mechanisms like the Anganwadis. Like certain Anganwadis co-located on the school compound. Pre-primary education section attached to primary schools. Fourth, standalone pre-primary education institutions. The fifth element, also home-based education. So all 5 approaches would lead to the early childhood care and education, which, as you rightly said, a package of interventions, health, nutrition, education and growth monitoring as a package. So that the brain of a child gets developed in the appropriate form, developmentally appropriate, and that is the reason this emphasis on strengthening early childhood care and education, with a special focus on the disadvantaged population groups.
Yes.
And this early stimulation would help them prepare for future school education properly, a smooth transition from home to the school environment, home language to the school language, and that is the reason this high emphasis on the early childhood care and education.
प्रोफेसर सहस्रबुद्धे, जिन बदलावों का अभी रामचंद्रन जी ने जिक्र किया, इन बदलावों के लिए बेहद आवश्यक है कि जो टीचर्स हैं उनका भी लगातार प्रशिक्षण होता रहे। तो ऐसे में टेक्नोलॉजी की क्या भूमिका बनती है और क्या इसे भी इस प्रारूप में एड्रेस किया गया है?
टीचर्स अपने अपने गांव में छोटे छोटे जगह में भी हो सकते हैं, लेकिन टेक्नोलॉजी यानी इंटरनेट के माध्यम से वहाँ तक जो पहुँच गई है उसका लाभ उठाते हुए उनको ट्रेनिंग वहाँ दी जा सकती है। तो उसके लिए अच्छे अच्छे मॉड्यूल बना कर उनको उसके प्रशिक्षण देना, उसके बाद उसमें से परिवर्तन करना और उनकी परीक्षा भी लेना, ये सब कुछ चीज़ें आज जो पॉसिबिलिटीज़ है उसका उपयोग करने के बारे में इसमें किया गया है।
आप कुछ जुड़ना चाहेंगे?
The draft national education policy envisages what is referred to as technology use and integration
Right.
at all levels of education. 4 aspects. Number 1, to expand educational access, technology can be used. Number 2, to improve teaching learning process by the teachers. Number 3, very important, training of teachers, including continuous professional development of existing teachers as quickly as possible.
Right.
And lastly, streamlining the educational planning and management.
Right.
So therefore, technology will be used extensively for training of teachers, both for initial professional preparation as well as continuous professional development of teachers. Like in the case of ECCE, as you rightly mentioned, we want at least one fully qualified trained educator, I am not calling them teachers, at the Anganwadis and pre-primary section attached to primary schools. This would be possible only through what we call a blended learning approach. Certain aspects will be done through face-to-face approach and certain using technology, maybe online learning. So this is what is envisaged through the use of technology use and integration.
शैलेंद्र कुमार जी, आपसे ये पूछना चाहूँगी क्योंकि आपने हालांकि आपने प्राइमरी स्कूल्स के साथ भी बहुत काम किया है, तो क्या जब आप टीचर्स को देखते हैं तो क्या आप इस बात को भी महसूस करते हैं, इस कमी को महसूस करते हैं कि आज की मौजूदा अगर हम शिक्षा पद्धति को या शिक्षा को देखें तो ऐसे में टीचर्स अगर एक प्राइमरी स्कूल के टीचर के रूप में ज्वाइन करते हैं तो वो प्राइमरी स्कूल के टीचर के रूप में ही रह जाते हैं, वो जो एक मतलब बढ़ोतरी होनी चाहिए उनके करियर ग्राफ में वो कहीं ना कहीं मिसिंग है? और क्या ये ड्राफ्ट जो है जब हम टीचर एजुकेशन की बात करते हैं और उनके कॉन्टिन्यूस डेवलपमेंट की बात करते हैं इसको भी एड्रेस करता है?
पॉलिसी के अंदर जो टेक्नोलॉजी एस्पेक्ट्स इन्होंने लिया है कि हम इंटरनेट वगैरह फैसिलिटीज़ हैं, रिसोर्सेज फैसिलिटीज़ हैं, थ्रू दी टेक्नोलॉजी वी विल रीच टू दी रूरल एरिया आल्सो, remote areas in the country. Now the main question is, as on today, how many schools in the rural area, they are equipped with a very simple technology that is called a television through the dish antenna. At least if that is set up, then you can have your internet connectivity also. You just go to the beyond NCR region, you will find many schools, they don't have in the primary school education this sort of a facility. My question here is, how we will implement these technology aspects? Is there any funding specially reserved in the policy for the implementation of technology part in the primary school education?
And
or
also
in the
sharing of resources is a very important aspect here. Because some schools might have the resources and the other schools might not have resources.
शैलेंद्र जी, मैं कुछ
जी,
बताना
बिल्कुल।
चाहता हूँ
हाँ।
कि जहाँ इंटरनेट है वहाँ ठीक है, वो तो हर आदमी भी देख सकता है, लेकिन जो सरकार ने स्वयं प्रभा चैनल्स शुरू किए, देयर आर 32 चैनल्स, स्वयं प्रभा चैनल्स, इसमें राउंड द क्लॉक 24/7 whatever content is available in the form of internet is also available on the dish antenna based TV. तो टेक्नोलॉजी के माध्यम, इसका मतलब नहीं है कि सिर्फ कंप्यूटर में ही बैठ के देखना है, तो अलग अलग माध्यम से भी आप शिक्षा को लोगों के सामने पेश कर सकते हैं,
द्वार तक पहुंचा सकते हैं। जी बिल्कुल।
मेरा एक यहाँ क्वेश्चन ये था कि जब ये सारी टेक्नोलॉजी की बात ठीक है, लेकिन जब इसका इम्प्लीमेंटेशन पार्ट है, उस पार्ट में गवर्नमेंट ने ये पॉलिसी ड्राफ्ट करते समय इम्प्लीमेंटेशन में जो प्रोविजन ऑफ मॉनेटरी एस्पेक्ट है वो क्या रखा हुआ है?
सर, योर रिएक्शन।
First thing, the draft National Education Policy envisages about 7-8 essential facilities in all schools by 2022-2023.
Okay.
These include the audiovisual facilities, computer for pedagogical purposes in all schools, internet connectivity in all schools, electricity connection in all schools, hand washing facilities, single sex toilet for both boys and girls separately. These are expected to be provided to all schools by 2022.
Okay.
Now, financial aspects. What the draft policy document envisages is increasing the public expenditure on education by almost 100%, double. We are now spending about 10% of public expenditure on education. The policy envisages this to be enhanced to 20% during the next 10 years. And therefore, unless we have this money, we won't pay. And we argue the case like this. This money given to education is not only for education. If education is done well, we will spend less money on public health, nutrition, poverty reduction, gainful employment. So the money we spend on education is not only for education, it also contributes immensely to the other aspects of development. And that's the reason we urge in the policy of the government to ensure that at least 20% of public expenditure is devoted to education.
Right.
And therefore, money would be available, and we are talking now about a 5 trillion economy in a few years' time. Money would be available, and that should be used for enhancing the essential facilities required to transact the given curriculum in the primary school.
Right. Sir, a quick reaction on the increasing of the number of years of schooling education. If you look at it, currently it is 10 plus 2, but the new format suggests 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. The idea behind it and that 1 year which has been increased, how do both of you see? I'll take your comments as well, sir.
Good. Let me make one thing very clear. Sometimes there is a confusion. Is this 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 system envisage physical facilities of schools being changed?
Okay.
The answer is no. This is purely what we call reconfiguration of the curriculum and pedagogical structure.
Right.
What we want is a developmentally appropriate curriculum at all levels of education. As mentioned earlier, the pre-primary education 3 to 5 or 6 plus the first 2 years of the primary school now will be what we call foundational stage. The early childhood stage internationally also is from birth to 8 years. So 3 to 8 years therefore will be one stage which is what we call the foundational stage, where the teaching learning process will be more activity based, experiential and discovery based, and not too much textbook based and so on.
And this is the period where you'll be focusing more on foundational literacy and numeracy. Am
that
I
is
right?
From grade 1 onwards.
Okay.
Good point. As mentioned, there is a learning crisis at the school stage. A large proportion of children do not meet the expected level of learning. And more important is, as the child progresses from grade 1 to grade 10, the performance declines. And the reason for this is the basic foundation, that foundation literacy and numeracy, they are not attained by the time a child reaches grade 3. So what we are proposing is, by 2025, all children attain, by grade 5 and below, attain foundational literacy and numeracy. If they don't attain, we may lose about 10 crore children from the learning system. I'm not talking education system, the learning
system. Right.
So we want a learning society gradually. And the first step for that is foundational literacy and numeracy. And we want the emphasis on this,
Right.
that no child beyond grade 5 without adequate foundational literacy and numeracy. The highest emphasis is in the policy attached to acquiring and demonstrating the foundational literacy and numeracy.
Right. सिस्टर बुद्धे जी, पहले 8 साल की बात हुई, उसके बाद के 3 और 4 साल यानी जो 7 साल की बात करते हैं, क्या आपको ऐसा लगता है कि जो 5 प्लस 3 प्लस 3 प्लस 4 का जो फॉर्मेट प्रारूप में दिया गया है, इससे इस चीज़ पर भी फ़ायदा होगा कि टेक्नोलॉजी को एजुकेशन में सीमलेसली इंटीग्रेट किया जा सके?
या यू आर राइट, एक्चुअली ये गेम चेंजर है।
हाँ।
क्योंकि पहले सिस्टम 10+2 में जो था, उसके बदले में जब फाउंडेशंस जो है, वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग फाउंडेशन जब तैयार हो जाते हैं और टेक्नोलॉजी अडाप्टेशन बहुत इजीली हो जाती है, और हर स्कूल में जब कंप्यूटर्स देने की बात है, इंटरनेट फैसिलिटी देने की बात है, वो सीमलेस डेवलपमेंट ऑफ लर्निंग हो जाएगा। और सबसे इम्पॉर्टेंट है डिस्कवरी बेस्ड, कि मुझे कुछ नया वाला करना है, सीखना है। जो अटल टिंकरिंग लैब्स ऑलरेडी अनेक स्कूलों में आ गए हैं, तो सारे स्कूलों में ये यदि आ जाती है तो पूरा ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन हो जाएगा एजुकेशन सिस्टम का।
और एक बात और कि जब हम बात करते हैं अगर आज के जो मौजूदा हमारी मतलब शिक्षा पद्धति है उसकी, तो यहाँ पर हम एजुकेशन की जब बात करते हैं तो साइंस अलग है, आर्ट्स अलग है, और टेक्निकल एजुकेशन में चाहे हम कंप्यूटर्स की बात हो, ये सब अलग अलग है। क्या अब आप ये देखते हैं कि जो आने वाली जो शिक्षा नीति है जिसका प्रारूप तैयार किया गया है, वो कहीं ना कहीं इन सबको अलग अलग विषयों की तरह न देखते हुए सबको एक दूसरे पे डिपेंडेंट सब्जेक्ट्स की तरह देखता है?
एब्सोल्युटली। ये लिबरल आर्ट्स जो है, जिसमें बेसिक आपको साइंस भी लगता है, मैथमेटिक्स भी लगेगा, आर्ट, क्राफ्ट, डिज़ाइन, स्पोर्ट्स, आई थिंक एवरीथिंग इज इंटीग्रेटेड इनटू वन, एंड ऐसा सेपरेशन करना ठीक भी नहीं है, क्योंकि आदमी होलिस्टिक है, तो उसको वैसे ही बनाना चाहिए। तो वैसे बनाने के लिए जो शिक्षा नीति होनी चाहिए, उस एंगल से इसमें काफ़ी प्रावधान की गई है, तो उसका उपयोग सही ढंग से होगा तो हमारा देश बहुत उन्नति पर चल सकता है, ये इसमें कोई दो राय नहीं है।
हाँ।
I may supplement on what you said. The draft policy makes it a very strong emphasis. In future, all subject areas will be considered equal.
That's very important.
There is
right?
nothing called extracurricular, co-curricular.
Right.
There is nothing called this is vocational stream, this is academic stream.
Right.
All will be integrated and equal importance for all, including the arts, health and physical education, we call it sports and wellness. All will be considered as curricular. Any planned learning experience provided to a student will be curricular, and therefore it is a holistic development of the child taken into account.
What Professor Ramachandran is saying, change in the curriculum, and at the same time we have to look how our teachers are then equipped with. As on today, the teachers are equipped with the normal way of teaching system and the subjects also. When we are going for a skill based, which is mentioned in the policy, especially for the school area also, from 8th onward or 9th onward, if you are trying to give the skill based education in the school in a new curriculum area, so how the syllabus, how the curriculum development is there, and how the teacher will be trained, and what will be the teacher student ratio. It is very important, you know, if there is a students are interested in a particular skill, and then we have to look for a teacher for that area also.
Right.
Good. I think a good point mentioned. Teacher requirement will be a very important aspect. And in the policy there is to make education, school education governance, to render it more local, the policy proposes what we call school complexes. What does that mean is around 20 to 30 public schools, means government schools, not, will be in a geographical unit working together, headed by the principal or head teacher of the secondary school.
Which is the head of the school complex. Okay.
Now, what is envisaged is, the point mentioned is very correct. It may not be possible to give a music teacher in all schools.
Right.
Can we create a system that a music teacher is appointed to a school within a complex, but she would be available to teach music, not only her appointed school, but also 2-3 schools around that.
Okay.
It means sharing of teacher resources.
Right.
Similarly, a librarian sometimes may have to be shared again.
Right.
So there is sharing of facilities to enhance libraries, and in the foundation literacy and numeracy, there is a great emphasis on libraries, neighborhood libraries where children can go and read books, and this must be promoted very much. So the idea here is that teachers, of course, have to be available. As you are aware, we have about more than 900 teacher vacancies now. We must fill in that, and we must ensure the essential minimum facilities are available, and these teachers, incumbent teachers, must be trained over a period of say 4 to 5 years.
Right.
And that is the reason the policy envisages implementation also in a phased manner. We have 1.5 million schools, so 8 million teachers. So policy talks about, the draft policy talks about every year, every teacher should get a few days for continuous professional development through training and various other means.
Right.
So that's what is an
Right. Professor Ramachandran, there is one more point about the credit to those courses, like skill-based courses. Now, will they are having the same credits, and that credit will be recognized when they are going for a higher education? And what about those facilities in the higher education?
Very
Right.
good. I think I'm glad he asked this question. What we are envisaging is, it is a skill-based program. We envisage vocational exposure at a very early stage. That means a child visiting a hospital to find out what doctors are doing, to know about doctor position, visiting a court of law to find out how judges and lawyers function, visiting a restaurant to find out how the food is made, can I make it? This kind of vocational exposure, visiting to industry again to find out how an engineer functions, this will be done at a very early stage. And some kind of a pre-vocational orientation will start at the middle stage, grade 6 to 8. At the secondary level, what he said will happen. Currently what happens is there is a science stream, physics, chemistry, maths, called engineering group. Biology, chemistry, physics, medical group. These silos will be gone now. That a student can take physics and a vocational education program. Same credit, maybe if you take 18 credits, but we want that to be linked with
But Professor Ramachandran, here is the university system is ready for all these changes.
We have to make them ready.
But then the changes will take place in there.
Now let me answer this question again. What does the liberal arts education, the university system means? It means you will have a physics major, but a vocational course is a minor. You may have a vocational course as a major, but physics or mathematics as a minor.
Sir, I'm going to the other extreme. Engineering as the major, music as the minor, dramatics as the minor. What a wonderful perspective.
जैसे आपने कहा कि जो ह्यूमन नेचर है और उसको जैसे हम टोटलिटी में देखते हैं, शिक्षा को भी उसके साथ जोड़ना पड़ेगा. हम अलग अलग आइलैंड्स में अगर सबको देखेंगे, शायद आज तक हमारी यही गलती रही थी कि हम सबको अलग अलग आइलैंड्स में देखते आ रहे थे. यही बात रिसर्च में और जो नेशनल रिसर्च फाउंडेशन की बात ड्राफ्ट कहता है उसमें भी दिखाई देता है. आपके इस पे विचार जानना चाहूँगी. जब कहते हैं कि रिसर्च को हम केवल टेक्निकल फील्ड तक नहीं बल्कि उन्हें आर्ट्स और ह्यूमैनिटीज, सोशल साइंसेस और आर्ट्स में भी हम एक्सटेंड करते हैं, तो इस पूरे को रिसर्च के जो परिदृश्य है, उसका जो परिपेक्ष है, कैसे आप देखते हैं इसे?
सबसे पहले रिसर्च यानी व्हाट इज द बेसिस फॉर रिसर्च, व्हाई डू वी डू रिसर्च? वी वांट टू अनफोल्ड समथिंग न्यू, फाइंड आउट. For what purpose? For the humanity, for the development of that. And today, no field can say that this is exclusive and only through this we will be able to do research.
Right.
So, a research in medicine requires help of engineering. Engineering research will require psychology and humanities and social sciences. And therefore, when we also look at research and research funding, it is not necessarily only for science or engineering or technology, but humanities and social sciences, liberal arts, they also should get research funding, and all of them together should work on some of the projects which are very useful to society actually. And that's how we should look at this NRF, National Research Foundation.
Right, because whatever the subject be, it has different aspects to it. So even if it is a core engineering subject, it has the arts aspect to it, it has the social sciences aspect to it. And if I'm understanding it right, it basically looks at a holistic view, a view which unites all the three so-called different subjects.
We call it 360-degree view.
Right.
That's how it is. So,
right.
So we should look at it from all angles.
Right.
And therefore, all inputs are important. Therefore, some of the top companies in IT, they are recruiting sociologists, psychologists. Not these are IT companies. Most of the things that they do is writing software, but they are engaging people from social sciences background.
Right.
Because any product which is developed will have a lot of spin-offs which have to be taken care of.
Right. Professor Sahasrabudhe, would you also agree with me if I say that until now, somehow the education system was creating more of a service-based industry, and it was not, for whatever various reasons, students were not interested in taking pure sciences and research subjects. So what was the reason behind it? How does the draft educational policy address that?
See, very important thing is we never talked about innovation in our country. And our even examination system was all based mostly on rote learning and memory based questions. So once we change over from that system of education and that system of examination to Bloom's taxonomy based education, that not merely memory, but how do you understand that particular topic, how do you apply it, how do you synthesize, how do you become creative. I think if this is all embedded into our question papers, there will be a transformation happening. And then instead of only being service oriented products being developed, we will have innovative new products being developed from out of this country.
Right.
And this is the driving force behind this entire thing.
Right.
And the new policy will break these silos. So in fact, the old system had a lot of silos. I am finding very interesting phenomena that forget about a arts college or commerce college talking to an engineering or medical college. Within an engineering college, two different departments do not speak to each other. Two different specializations in an engineering discipline were not talking to each other. I think that is where we are breaking those silos through this new education
Are we
policy.
also trying to revive the education system that was present in ancient India, which never emphasized on rote learning and was basically an innovation-based learning, and which encouraged people to innovate, to research?
The whole concept of liberal arts education, in fact, came from two of the oldest universities in India, Takshila and Nalanda.
Right.
Nalanda had 10,000 students and 2,000 faculty from 19 countries. They encouraged breaking the silos and have an interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary education. That is the concept we have taken in the liberal arts education. So what was given in the ancient India is very much respected and reiterated by the draft education policy. I may just add one more point to add to what Professor Sabudaya said. What is the purpose of the National Research Foundation? The main purpose is to create an ecosystem for research in all fields in universities and colleges. The focus is on enhancing research capability in universities and colleges through funding a robust peer-reviewed process, beneficial linkages, establishing linkages between the government, the industry and the researchers, and recognizing outstanding research supported by the NRF through seminars, prizes and so on. So the basic idea is to create an ecosystem for research. In this process, the NRF envisages 4 divisions to begin with. Number 1, sciences. Number 2, technology. Number 3, the arts and humanities. Number 4, social sciences. With the provision, gradually we would add divisions related to health, environmental sciences, then
Agriculture.
So many more areas will be gradually added so that the research would not be confined to only currently as being mostly in laboratories, independent laboratories, but the focus being on the universities and the academic research in all fields of study. So that is the idea of the National Research Foundation mentioned in the draft policy. Certainly not focused only on sciences, all aspects as Professor Sabudaya indicated.
शैलेंद्र जी, आपसे ये जानना चाहेंगे कि जैसे अभी सर ने कहा कि जब हम इस रिसर्च की बात करते हैं तो रिसर्च केवल सीमित नहीं रहेगा रिसर्च कॉलेजेस से यूनिवर्सिटीज़ तक, लेकिन जो बाकी के कॉलेजेस हैं और यूनिवर्सिटीज़ तक, वहाँ तक इसका दायरा बढ़ाया जाएगा। आप इसे किस तरह से देखते हैं?
मेरे को जो सबसे अच्छी बात लगी है एजुकेशन पॉलिसी में ड्राफ्ट जो आया है, इसमें रिसर्च का कंपोनेंट बहुत अच्छा ऐड किया है। And they have told to the public also that for this National Research Foundation, there is a money is there, and which is written in the policy also, around 20,000 crores per year, and it will increase depending upon how the work is going on. Now, this research foundation is giving an opportunity to all the students, research scholars in university, colleges, higher education institutions, even to the school also, if somebody wants to do research in that area. And they are very, very open for inviting the research proposals also. I will add further, the division council is there, and then there are subject committees are there. And again, there are inter-subject committees are there for a multidisciplinary research. And they are reviewing research proposal every year. And another important aspect is why it has been created. If we'll see internationally, now what is happening is around 13 lakhs approximately, the China is giving up patent proposals. 6 lakhs is giving by the USA. India is 45, approximate idea I am giving. India is 45,000 only. And in terms of a research publications output also, USA and China, if India is publishing one, they are 4 times higher. So what I am thinking is, and what the government has also thought of, let us create more research facilities in the sense, already there are research institutions like UGC is there, and other ISSR is there, ICMR, they are also funding the research. But this is the national NRF. They have given a special provision, let us create a good environment for the researcher, and they are not only giving the fellowship, they are creating the research facilities also. And they are also publicizing how to conduct a research, like seminars, exhibitions. I remember, like in Delhi University, there was a program called Antardhwani. That Antardhwani program was for the for the undergraduate students. What they were doing is, they were creating some models, science models, innovative models, and all the colleges, they are coming at one place and showing their skills, innovations. So this sort of a thing has been taken at a national level, and they are asking in all the states in the country, let's go for the development of and showing the what researchers wants to do. And if they want to go for a international collaboration also, that facility is also given there. But here I would like to say, as on today, in the universities area, the research starts from the department. In the department, the students get a proposal, and then it is approved, and it went to the arts faculty, and the university research council is there, and so on. Now, the research plan, the department, on a practical aspects I am saying, the department, they don't have a very concrete research plans. It depends on the faculty only. It's their interest area, student interest area, okay, proposal is done. And for that PhD proposal, research proposal, each student, those who are getting a fellowship, they are spending 25 lakhs of rupees for a period of PhD. They are getting around something around 35,000-40,000 rupees now per month. So what we are thinking is, the government has, through NRF, government has given another facilities, let more researchers should come. Another thing is, let there will be a national register for the research also. Already research done, let there will be a database. In FlipNet, a government organization, they have taken some initiation. And let there will be a research register for the ongoing proposals. So that if I am coming with a new research proposal, I should have access to what is happening. Whether
and what has already happened.
What is already happened. So that I can start then from there onwards. So this is very important.
Talking about the aspects of technical education that the draft has addressed, there are two important things. One, to devise a curriculum which strengthens the undergraduate programs, and also to be able to address the changing needs of the professional courses, because as the world is changing, the professional courses and the professional courses in demand also change. So it has specifically talked about that as well. How do you see the implementation happening on that front?
Implementation has already started happening even before the policy came into this. This is very interesting. We have found that the 21st century needs of the industry, which we call as Industry 4.0, unless education also moves on to Education 4.0, I think we will be left behind. And some of the very important topics of interest for the future technologies which are emerging are in the artificial intelligence area, Internet of Things, machine learning, we also have deep learning, robotics, we have 3D printing, we have augmented reality, virtual reality,
Right.
we have blockchain. I think all these should become part of the curriculum and expanded, and even research should take place in these areas.
Right. So, with research taking place in these areas, when we talk about artificial intelligence and areas like, do you think, because if there's artificial intelligence, then in that case, the jobs that are available to people, what people are doing, would probably be taken over by robots, let us say. So that would also see a decrease in the employment rate. How do you think that the new draft education policy addresses the question of employability?
See, some type of jobs certainly will vanish, because of automation, robotics.
That's
But
absolutely
new
fine.
type of jobs will emerge. In
Okay.
fact, there are statistics which say today we don't even know what type of jobs are going to emerge 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line. And therefore, one of the very important things which not only technical education but all type of education should look at is lifelong learning and self-learning. And this is a very important mode, because what is going to come tomorrow is not known to me nor Professor Ramchandran.
Huh.
So therefore, we should be preparing our students to become self-learners and lifelong learners. And if we are doing that, the new type of jobs which are going to emerge in the market, people can start their own startups. They will have both employment opportunities as well as creating jobs.
Right. So they're
I
not just
think
job seekers, but
seekers,
job providers.
Job providers.
Right.
And that's why in the curriculum we are putting emphasis on how do we have courses on entrepreneurship, business development. These are all becoming part of the curriculum for both engineering as well as management, so that tomorrow we will have more entrepreneurs emerging right from the colleges themselves, rather than seeking jobs. So
Right.
I think that is the movement towards which we should move.
I think it's already started.
It has already started.
There's a long way ahead, but the future seems to be very bright.
Very bright.
Right.
We are already the third largest startup ecosystem in
Right.
the world, and still growing.
Right.
So I think we have great opportunities
Right.
which are ahead.
So,
I may add one more thing.
sure.
If you look at the preamble to the draft policy, very clearly mentioned, what is the main challenge? The challenge now is to respond to the emerging learner characteristics.
Okay.
Currently, as well as in future, the students who come into the system would be born and brought up in a technology-rich environment. They will use technologies which don't exist now. They will enter jobs which don't exist now. So the approach is how to prepare these students to adapt to the changing job requirements, future of work, and therefore the emphasis is also on what you call 21st century skills. What does that mean? Like, can they do complex problem solving, critical thinking, creative thinking, self-directed learning, as mentioned by Professor Vasudev, as a team player, ethical and moral reasoning, very important,
Right.
lifelong learner, so that they can adapt to the changing job skill sets required. So what is now happening is that you said jobs will be lost, some, but new jobs will be created. That needs more and more what we call design thinking. So the future role of a technical education program will be, can we focus more on design thinking and create more designers, new jobs, new approaches, and that's what the draft policy is talking about it. Therefore, skills that should be attained by all students of all programs, be it engineering, be it medical, be it liberal arts. We also want engineering colleges to introduce humanities, social sciences, so that they also get a breadth of knowledge and not just focused only on mechanical engineering.
Right.
Because the skill sets required in future
Right.
are distinctly different. Therefore, preparing students for the fourth industrial revolution.
Right.
So that's the focus we are also talking about.
We already have introduced humanities and social sciences as one component which is mandatory for all students, and lots of choice-based electives.
Right.
And many a times when institutions say that we don't have faculty in this domain because there are limited number of people available, we are saying that 20% of the courses can be done through MOOCs,
Yes.
That is our own indigenous Swayam platform. So that even if your college do not have faculty in a domain where you are interested, so it is a student-centric, faculty-mentored new education actually.
When we talk about lifelong learning, that reminds me of another very important aspect that you have very carefully covered in the draft education policy, and that is adult education, which is slightly less talked about but really important. So you have very beautifully and you have given a very comprehensive yet elaborate take on the adult education. So what is it that I would like to know from you?
At present, we have more than 260 million. It means 26 crore people above 7 years of age who are illiterate. And the draft policy therefore focuses on creating a literate and numerate society by 2030. That there should be no illiterates after 2030. It means one is clearing the gap, the 26 crores, and ensuring through primary education, foundation literacy and numeracy, there will be no more new illiterates after 2030. And which needs tremendous amount of society involvement, massive involvement of volunteers, and make sure that in the shortest possible time, illiteracy is eradicated. Maybe each one teach one. And make sure that in a village, the village community, the panchayat takes responsibility to ensure no illiterates after a few years, and certainly not beyond 2030.
So does that include foundational literacy as well as vocational training in
Now,
adult education?
Good. Adult education normally means 3-4 things. One is the literacy numeracy. Second is now continuing education facilities through the open schooling system, equivalent to basic education, secondary education. So expanding the open school system to make sure that those who dropped out come back and join education. Third is vocational skills. It is now also done by the Ministry of Skill Development, that we have a major target to complete by 2022. And lastly, a lot of life skills to be provided to the learners. And therefore, the Adult Education Center of the future will not only be just imparting literacy numeracy, it will also be a technology-enabled learning center.
Wonderful.
The technology will be used to reach this large number of adults and neo-adults and provide continuing education for all. So that is the importance of the adult education. And the target set is, some people said ambitious. To me, 2030 should be possible. And I come from a state where 2 districts could be made 100% literate in 6 months' time. Why not other parts of the country? The same approach. The district administration takes an important role. The village panchayat takes an important role, and entire civil society make sure that I can teach somebody else.
Very true.
And by 2030, a fully literate and numerate country. That is the ambitious goal we are setting.
So equity is one of the fundamental principles of the draft policy, which includes education for everyone, one and all, which also includes the underrepresented classes. So one of them is children with special needs. How do you address that?
The latest UNESCO reports just came out 2 months ago. It indicates India has 78 lakhs children with disabilities in the age group 5 to 19. And out of them, 4 out of 10 of these are not attending any school. So high priority is attached to enhancing, expanding access to education for children with disabilities in accordance with what we call the Right of Persons with Disabilities Act 2016, that all must receive education. When we say quality education for all, it also means all underrepresented groups. And a major part of that is the children with disabilities in the age group 5 to 19. So through an adaptive educational program, integrating them in the normal education process, then assistive devices provided to all, modifying infrastructure of schooling, and so that the curriculum can be transacted that is suited to the learning needs of children with disabilities.
Right.
That is a high priority accorded by the draft policy.
Right. So before we wrap up the discussion, the key takeaways of the draft national education policy, प्रोफेसर शैलेंद्र आपसे शुरू करते हैं.
इसका जो रिसर्च एरिया है बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग है. स्पेशली इन्होंने जो इंडियन लैंग्वेज और हमारी एंशियंट नॉलेज है उसको भी इंटीग्रेट किया है इसके अंदर.
जी.
तो ये बहुत अच्छा पॉइंट है इसका.
प्रोफेसर सहस्रबुद्धे.
New education policy is essentially an enabler for really empowering the entire nation, the youth, the new India which we often talk about. So that is what this policy is going to do.
So,
Two words I will emphasize in the policy. One is flexibility, as I indicated earlier, flexibility within the broad national goals and priorities. Number two is what we call autonomy, that education institutions should be given autonomy, especially teachers. They would decide how to teach and what to teach. And you can say you must reach the learning goals, but how they do it can be practiced by the teachers, the autonomy of faculty and institutions. Third aspect is rendering the school governance more local. Let the decision regarding school education be taken at the local level, including when should I start the school, when should I have vacation. That kind of decision also can be, where do I share teachers, how do I go about it. So I would highlight three words, that local governance, autonomy and flexibility as an important. One more word, the last word I say, honoring student diversity.
wonderful.
I am using the word honoring, not addressing and managing. Diversity is an asset.
Very
So
true.
can we, through the education system, honor student diversity so that, as you rightly said, education for all segments of society, not only just entering into education, but also diversity honored in learning processes, teaching learning processes, and also learning outcomes.
Right.
They all attain the defined learning outcomes by addressing or by honoring the student diversity.
Right. Thank you
Thank you.
very much for being here with us on our show and making this discussion so enriching and insightful with your thoughts and with your inputs. Thank you very
Thank you
much.
very much.
Namaskar.
Thank you.